All right, and we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mack to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. What's up, folks? How are y'all doing? What's going on? Hope y'all having a great week so far. Hope you're having a better week than me. And what I mean by that is it's just been one of those weeks. For example, I'm recording this podcast for the second time. I already recorded it one time. I'm going on the second time a day later because when I recorded it yesterday, apparently the sound did not work. And I didn't know that. And I recorded the whole entire podcast with no sound. So if you listened to or tried to listen to my live stream yesterday, I apologize. It had no sound. But today, hopefully it's working. I can hear it in my headphones. So fingers crossed it's gonna work. Have y'all ever had just one of those days where just it's so bad that it becomes funny? Like you get mad at first because a few things go wrong, but then like they keep happening. So eventually it's like it's just funny. You're like you just laugh it off. You're like, oh, what else could possibly happen? And then something else happens. It's just been one of those weeks, one of those days. So I don't know. I ain't even worried about it. I ain't tripping. I know we're gonna get better. But yeah, y'all look out for your boy out there. So yeah, in today's podcast, we're going to continue the little mini series we're doing, the 4 changes that I made to create the mind and body that I always dreamed of. So last episode, we talked about changing my environment. That's one of the ways that I created the mind and body that I dreamed of. In today's topic, we're going to talk about no longer playing the victim card. So, what does that mean? There's empowerment through ownership. You got to shed the victim mentality. So, basically, what this means is you got to stop blaming others for your actions. It's nobody else's fault but your own for where you're at in life right now. Like your situation is 100% a result of you, of your actions, of what you do from day to day. So yeah, that's basically what it is. Stop playing the victim card. And we're going to break down some ways that I stopped doing this and some ways that you can do it and how to overcome it. So number one, the first thing I did that you need to do to stop playing the victim card is you need to recognize I can't speak either. You need to recognize the victim mentality. So you got to recognize that you're doing it. You probably don't even recognize it when you do it most of the time, but you are. So the first step is just recognize it. So if you're feeling stuck in a cycle of self-pity, if you're blaming others for your lack of progress, if you're blaming others for not hitting your fitness goals, not hitting your career goals, relationship goals, guess what? It's nobody else's fault. It's yours. Stop blaming others. Take responsibility and recognize, say, hey, it's not this person's fault. I shouldn't be blaming them. It's on me. I got to get my stuff together. I got to start putting in the work, changing my actions, doing what I need to do. So, yeah, step number one, recognize the victim mentality. Number two, you need to acknowledge the need for change. So, for me, I realized that I was constantly complaining about why I'm not where I want to be. I was constantly making excuses about why I couldn't post on social media, why I couldn't eat the right foods I need to be eating. And when you're making excuses, you're complaining, this is not leading to positive outcomes. It's not. You're having all that negative self talk, negative self doubt. It's going to lead to negative outcomes. It's pretty common sense there. So I acknowledged the need for change. I realized that if I kept doing what I was doing, I wasn't going to get anywhere. And I definitely wasn't going to achieve the goals that I have for myself. Because I have big goals, I have big dreams, aspirations, just like most people do. I got things that I want to do in my life, all the cool things like make a lot of money, travel the world, impact people's lives, things like that. So I was never going to be able to do that if I stayed in the situation that I was in. So I realized this and I knew I had to make a change, had to do something different, had to start taking the right actions to start making positive impacts, positive changes in my life. So, number three, I embraced ownership and I took responsibility. So, this is a huge step right here. You got to take responsibility. You got to realize, which This is what helped me. I finally realized that it was nobody else's fault. It was my fault. I'm the one that controls my input, my output, my actions. Like, it's me. It's all on me. Nobody has an effect. Not your friends, not your parents, not your spouse. Yeah, they may have an influence, but at the end of the day, you're the one that makes those decisions. You do what you're going to do. So you got to start taking responsibility. You got to start taking ownership and realize that it's your fault. If you're in a good place, it's your fault as well. Like, if you set yourself up for success, then hey, guess what? That was your fault. You did that on purpose, or maybe you didn't do it on purpose, but you got yourself there. And it works the same way if you're not where you want to be, if you're failing, if you're not hitting your goals, if you're not where you're at, where you want to be in life, it's your fault. Nobody else's. So take responsibility, take ownership, stop blaming other people, stop blaming your situation. Stop blaming your childhood, the way you were raised. Stop blaming your parents or your family. Stop blaming your spouse. It's none of them. It's you. So that's step number 3. You got to take responsibility. Got to take ownership. Number 4. The fourth step that I did was I cultivated a growth mindset. So what does this mean? This means I started viewing my failures, my setbacks, obstacles. I started viewing these as ways I could improve. I started seeing them as opportunities for growth. Um, so I changed my mindset around them and the way I thought about them. Yeah, they may be hindering me, they may be holding me back, but I changed the way of, I stopped blaming these things and I started thinking, oh, this is just one more obstacle in my way that I got to overcome to get to where I need to be. And it's going to be a learning lesson. I'm going to learn from it because you're always going to fail. If you're not failing, then your goals just aren't big enough. So when you hit these obstacles, when you hit these step backs, the roadblocks, you got to adapt. You got to learn how to overcome them. And these are all going to be growing areas. It's going to be ways that you can improve. You can get better. You can have, you can grow. So it's all part of the process. It's all part of the journey. It's never just constantly uphill. You know, you're going to be up and down. You're going to have good days, bad days. So you got to cultivate that mindset. You got to start being okay with failing. You got to be okay with not being where you want to be right now. Delayed gratification. Is that how you say that? Delayed gratification? Yeah, I think that's right. You got to be okay with putting in the work now and not seeing any results. But you know, down the road, you will start to see those results, and those results will start to compound on top of each other. You'll stack one win on top of another win on top of another win, and they'll just keep stacking. They'll start compounding. So you got to develop the growth mindset. That's step number 4. Step number 5. Now that we know we got to grow, we want to set some empowering goals. So set some big goals. Where do you want to grow to? What's that goal? It don't have to be just fitness. It could be health, wealth, relationship, career goals, whatever that is, fitness goals. So you want to set specific health and fitness goals. And these could be something like running a marathon or bench pressing 225 pounds or losing 50 pounds or fitting into your favorite pair of jeans that you can't fit in anymore. Even a certain body composition, whatever, bodybuilding show, whatever that may be for you, set you a goal because it's a lot easier to work towards something that you have a clear goal on. Like, you know how to get there because you know what you're trying to get to. If you just say, I want to lose weight, it's going to be a lot harder because that's more vague. You want to get more specific. It's going to keep you motivated by having this goal because you'll have that, you'll see it at the finish line. You know, it'll be more rewarding when you actually do achieve that goal. So that's number 5. Set you a goal, get clear and specific on what it is that you want to do, no matter what area of your life that is that you want to improve. I always like to say there's three main areas of your life that you need to improve and work on each and every day. And that is health, wealth, and relationships. So health, obviously, fitness. Wealth, it's going to be your career, your job, however you make money. And then relationships. This is going to be your spouse, your family, parents, friends, coworkers. You need to work on all these every single day. That's the three key areas of life: health, wealth, and relationships. And then number 6, the step you need to take after setting these goals is you need to take action and you need to persevere. So you got to simply put in the work. You got to do what you got to do to get it done, and don't make no excuses. Go to the gym on the days that you have planned to go to the gym. Or if you miss a day, make it up the next day. You got to put in the work. You got to take action. Because guess what? You're not ever going to achieve what it is you're trying to achieve if you're not doing the little things. You're not putting in the work to actually get there, to actually achieve that goal. So you need to commit to a regular exercise routine. You need to commit to having a conversation with your spouse every day if that's what you want to do. If you want to achieve, if you want to improve your marriage or something, maybe you need to commit to having that talk with your spouse, that sweaty palm conversation. Um, and you can also seek support from a coach or a mentor if you need some help, if you need some guidance along the way. Maybe your goal is to lose 50 pounds, but you don't know exactly how to do that. Hire you a coach, hire you a fitness trainer. So you just got to do the little things. You got to put in the work on the days that you don't want to do it. It's not always going to be fun. Sometimes it's going to suck. It really is. But those days that suck are the days that you really grow and you get better and you overcome those obstacles. That's when you're really going to feel confident. You're going to enjoy getting past those days because you know that it wasn't fun, but you did it anyways and you got it done. So those are the best and most rewarding days sometimes. So just push through even on those days that you really don't want to. Because trust me, you're not going to be motivated every day. Nobody is. I don't care who you are. You're not motivated every day. I get like today, I didn't want to go to the gym today. I really didn't want to be there. But I went and I got it done and I'm glad I did. Like I would be upset with myself if I didn't go and get it done. But I went anyways because I knew I had to get it done because it's part of the mission. It's part of the plan, the process. So that's number 6. Take dirty action. Like just get to work, grind, be in the trenches, get it done no matter what. There's no other way to get to your goal without doing this step. Number 7, and this is going to hit you once you start taking action, start taking these steps, and that is overcome self-limiting beliefs. So this is something that I struggle with a lot, and I still struggle with this today. Self-limiting beliefs. So I stopped thinking of I stopped saying I can't do this or I can't do this, and I started changing my mindset and saying I am capable of overcoming these challenges with effort and determination. So I can do it. I just gotta believe. I gotta start doing the action. And when I start taking the little steps, the little things to build on, then that will boost my confidence. It will encourage me more. It'll motivate me more to keep going to overcome these self-limiting beliefs. So you're gonna get to a point to where you doubt yourself. You don't think you can do it, or you start comparing yourself to somebody else. Um, this kind of held me back for a while because for the longest time, I was scared to post content. I never wanted, I was scared of like what people would think about me and things like that. So it held me back from posting content for a while. But finally, I just got to the point where I was like, screw it. Like, I really don't care. People going to talk about me either way, good, bad, whatever. So I finally realized that, hey, just do what I want to do because everybody else's opinion, it really don't matter at the end of the day. Like, y'all ain't paying my bills, so I don't care what you say. Like, if you got something bad to say, oh well. Like, you might as well keep it to yourself because it's not gonna affect me. Like, I'm gonna keep doing me. If you don't like me, you don't like my content, guess what? I'm gonna keep posting anyways. So and that's why I finally got to that point, and that's what helped me. I overcame that self limiting belief, and I finally just said, I'm gonna do me, and I ain't gonna let nobody else stop me from doing me. And that was the best thing that I ever did, the best thing that ever happened to me. And you can do this too. You just gotta start taking the action, the little steps, and you'll start to build this confidence. You'll start to overcome that self limiting beliefs, and then as you do it a lot, you get better at it and you improve. Like now, I'm almost 100 episodes into this podcast and it's gotten way easier because I do this podcast live. And I used to be super intimidated, super scared, and nervous now I've done it so many times, like it's just normal. I literally feel like I'm just having a conversation with y'all. And it's not, I don't feel like I gotta put on a show or put on an act or be somebody that I'm not. I don't feel like I have to like just overperform. I feel like I can just show up as myself and we can be cool. Like we can have a conversation, talk back and forth, like we're buddies, like we're cool. And that's how I feel about it. Like this is just me chatting with y'all, hanging out, having a good time, hoping y'all enjoying what I'm telling y'all. I like to get on here and provide y'all some value. I'm just talking about my passion. I love fitness. I love trying to help people get into fitness. So that's the whole idea. And it's been great. So shout out to y'all. If y'all listen to the podcast, shout out to y'all. I appreciate it. While we at it, leave a comment. Subscribe to the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube channel, the Fitness Beginner Podcast. Wherever you tune in at, I'd appreciate it. Leave me a review, 5 stars. Let's go. So yeah, number 7 was overcoming self-limiting beliefs. Now we're gonna hop on to the last step of this journey, and it is celebrate the personal victories. So celebrate those little milestones, the little steps, the little habits that you're stacking on top of each other. You got a habit stack. Each one of these little habits that you create, that's gonna be a win. You need to celebrate it, but you got to use the 24-hour rule. Celebrate it 24 hours and then move on. Like, don't over celebrate it, because you got to get back on it. You got to keep it going again. So celebrate the little milestones along the way. So if your goal is 50 pounds, when you lose that first 10 pounds, hey, celebrate it. Let you know that you're proud of yourself. You did it. And this will help you stay motivated. Because sometimes when you have that big goal at the very end, it's it's hard to picture it and achieve it sometimes because it seems so far away. It seems out of reach. But if you set up these interim milestones, these smaller ones, you break it down more, they seem a lot more achievable. And when you celebrate that, it kind of gets you motivated, it gets you going again. Because, when people start a weight loss journey, they're pumped up the first like week or two. Then they realize it's hard, like it's not easy. So they get unmotivated. But as soon as they hit that 10 pounds, it like, and they celebrate that milestone, it kind of restarts that motivation. Like you hit 10 pounds, you're like, oh, I can hit 20. Let's do it again. I can lose 10 more, and you get motivated again. So it's kind of like a little hack that you can use to stay motivated, keep your mind on the mission, keep your blinders on, and we'll get there along the way. So celebrate these milestones as you start achieving that goal, as you start habit stacking, and this will help you in the long run. So yeah, that's the 8 steps that I took to kind of stop playing the victim card, to stop blaming others and making excuses for where I am in my life at the time. Because I know at the end of the day, it's up to me and me only. Like I make my own decisions and choices. So I can't blame anybody else. I can't hold nobody else accountable. I got to hold myself accountable. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I challenge you, reflect on your own mindset. Consider how letting go of the victim mentality can positively impact your lives. I promise you it will. Once you realize that you can have an impact on the outcome and the effect of what's happening in your life because you are the sole reason, it'll make you feel, it'll probably make you feel worse about yourself at first because you realize, hey, I'm not doing what I need to do. But it's encouraging because now you know that you can change that. You can be that determining factor. You can be the decision maker. Actually, you are the decision maker. So it's a good and a bad thing at the same time. But you got to use that as fuel to the fire to get to work, to get going, to stay motivated. And it's just, you got to stop doing it. Like you got to stop playing the victim card if you want to see success, if you want to get to where it is that you want to be in life. So yeah, start taking responsibility, start taking ownership, and y'all get to work. And that's going to do it for part 2 of this little mini series. Next week, we are going to talk about, the topic is learning from my failures and using those as learning opportunities. So failure equals learning opportunity. That's next week's topic. And that's what we're going to get into. So y'all make sure y'all tune into that. And if you haven't yet, go back to last episode, watch the first part where we talked about changing your environment to put yourself in a better place to start working towards these goals and achieving your goals in life. So, yeah, that's all we got for the podcast this week. Thank y'all for tuning in with me for the second time of this podcast. So, yeah, let's hope y'all have a better rest of the week than you have so far. Make sure you do something today to work on these goals. Just do one thing, get 1% better. And until then, we'll see y'all next week. Peace, love, protein. We out.